Hey, KETO-SIStas. We are approximately 19 minutes late because we have been first in Rebecca's office. Now we came out into her living room, dining room area.
And my dog escaped, and my neighbor brought him back.
Guys, it's real. We bring real life keto to you every day. We have moved so many things around trying to get the lighting. We've taken pictures off the walls. Rebecca just moved a clock that was ticking loudly. A candle just fell over behind us.
It's a lot. The things we do for you.
However, I'm not grumpy this week, so there's that. All right. So today we're going to talk to you about keto do's and don'ts. And if obviously you're watching this. I want everyone watching this to tell us, how would you spell the word don't? Because that, ironically enough.
Not don'ts.
Don'ts.
We know how to spell don't.
We do. It's true. I was on a Zoom earlier with someone and that came up, believe it or not, how to spell the word don'ts. And then it came up again with Rebecca. Weird. So we want to know how you would spell it. Let us know in the comments.
How you spell it, punctuated, whatever.
Right. It's a tricky word. It's trickier than you might be thinking until you go to type it in.
Because you have to think about what do's looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Do's and don'ts. All right.
Okay.
So we are going to talk about things that you absolutely should do on a keto lifestyle and 5 things that you actually should not do.
I thought that would be a fun topic for today.
Are we starting with the positive or the negative?
I think start with the positive. Okay. So first, most obvious thing to do when you're doing the keto diet is stay under 20 net carbs. Now, why are you laughing?
Because, it's important.
It's important. It's like the
kinda
foundation.
crucial.
Yes. Now, you know that Rebecca and I do not do a strict keto diet most of the time, although we are currently taking our challenge, which has already been super fun. But to do a true keto lifestyle, you need to stay under 20 net carbs. And what net carbs looks like is you take your total carbs minus, and you subtract out the fiber.
And the sugar alcohols.
Thank you. So we actually have a graphic. Let me make notes of things I'm going to put in the comments. We have a graphic that we will add to the comments. It really is good for showing you how to find your net carbs. I think that you'll find that helpful. Now, if you aren't doing strict true keto and you just want to be low carb, that is, you take 1/3 of your body weight and you stay under that many net carbs in a day. So for instance, if you weighed 150 pounds, you would want to stay under 50 net carbs.
Grams of net carbs.
Yes, in a day. So that's a big difference between low carb and keto. And so we kind of like to talk about both because we truly are more low carb than keto.
Yeah, but low carb sistas doesn't sound so good.
It wasn't quite as catchy. Good point.
And have you ever noticed our name, KETO-SIStas? It actually spells ketosis.
I would love to know in the comments if you knew that before Rebecca said it, because we have someone who has been on our dream team for a couple years and just now realized what that actually was trying to say in our logo.
All right. So do number 1, staying under 20 net carbs.
Yes. Okay. Number 2. And if you're in the challenge, you probably realize this is kind of like the flow of the challenge so far. Stay under 20 net carbs is number 1. Number 2, add in healthy fats. This is what makes the keto diet really different than a low carb diet, is actually adding in fat on purpose.
Right. So it's the hallmark of the keto diet because it's not just like other low carb diets out there. It is the intentional addition of healthy fats into your diet. And the thing that makes the keto diet and the lifestyle so beautiful is when you increase your healthy fats, you aren't as hungry, and it's actually easier to stay low carb, but we've treated fat as a villain for so long that it's really hard for some people to get over that mental roadblock of, I'm not supposed to eat fat. It makes me fat. Well, the right kinds of fat will help you actually not be fat. And that will help you be satisfied longer. You won't maybe start eating as earlier in the day. You won't need to snack as much. You're just going to feel satisfied. Whereas, I don't know about you, but have you ever been on a diet and you're hungry all the time? You're hangry, hunger and anger. you're grumpy, you're tired, you're not a pleasant person to be around. It's not a pleasant experience for you. So in the comments below, if you're watching this and you've dieted before and you felt hunger and you're tired, like say that in the comments. Let us know how that felt.
Yes. And you know what is beautiful? So I got over here. Rebecca came from teaching a class. I came from working at the gym, working out at the gym. And we got here, you know, it's like 12:30. We're like, okay, we need to get ready to go live. Her husband's like, are we going to do lunch? She's like, no, I think I'll just like keep fasting. Like that is just a natural part of our lives now, is maybe we'll grab a bar later this afternoon, like a keto bar or whatever, and then have a dinner. It's so freeing to not be controlled by food once you get your body into ketosis and you are keto adapted, which is something that we talk about in the challenge.
Right. And fat will help you get there.
Yes. But like Rebecca said, it is such a mindset shift. I was actually in Florida a couple weeks ago with some friends who were just starting to do keto. They just started drinking Prove It's Ketones with us, and they just started really doing the keto lifestyle. And they had been vegetarians for years. And every morning her husband was doing like the funnest things with bacon in the air fryer. And she's like, I just can't get my brain around the fact that I'm eating bacon, that I'm having eggs, that all these things that I, for so long, just thought that I should not eat.
Yeah. Well, we'd been traveling a lot over Thanksgiving and not eating the greatest, mind you, but we'd gotten in kind of late and we hadn't really eaten dinner. I wanted something, but it was kind of late. And so I literally took little pieces of salami, rubbed some butter in it, rolled them up and ate them. They were delicious. The fat was very satisfying. I didn't have to eat very many of them, and I was done. It was just so easy and simple and satisfying.
Yes. Cal said, today I realized that KETO-SIStas spells ketosis. My family always says, I was today years old. Okay. So stay under 20 net carbs, add in healthy fats. Now the third one is a little bit of a harsh one for us, and it is track. In order to, especially if you're new to the keto lifestyle, in order to do this, you have to track at least at the beginning so that you know what is in food. If you have never tracked before, you will be shocked at some of the things that you will discover, especially fruit, certain vegetables. You will be amazed at what 20 net carbs looks like. For context, that's like half of a banana. I mean, it is shocking. And of course, there's the whole rest of the day to think about. So there's just some things that are going to take you by surprise. So at least at the beginning, tracking is really important to have awareness of what 20 net carbs looks like. And to truly do the keto diet, you would need to track consistently.
Right, because it's very intentional, not just in the number of carbs that you eat, but the balance of all of your macros, the protein, the fats, and the carbs, how they interrelate is super important for the keto diet. So it's really hard to get there if you don't know what you're eating and where that falls on your little pie graph. So I'm not a tracker. I am very aware of what I eat generally, and I read labels a lot. But like Bridget said at the beginning, that's really important.
And there is something satisfying. So I track sometimes and I don't track sometimes. Kind of just depends. I ebb and flow with my real life very fluidly. But when I'm tracking, there is something very satisfying when you get to the end of the day. And it's like, I've texted some accountability partners that I've had before, like, I feel like I deserve a trophy because I nailed my macros today. Like there is something very satisfying about that because you know your end results and how powerful they're going to be by doing that daily action step of keeping your macros on point.
Yeah. So if you are a tracker or have tracked in the past, let us know in the comments how that went for you. Was it helpful? Was it eye-opening when you had to put in some of those ingredients maybe, and then you're like, oh, I had no idea about potatoes. I remember talking to somebody about potatoes, and she'd been keto for a while, and she's like, potatoes are bad? I was like,
yeah, I saw someone who posted, and they weren't in our challenge or anything, but they said, I just started the keto diet. Look what I had for dinner. And it was a roast with potatoes. And I was like,
here it's probably too.
Good job not having the rolls. So it is a learning curve for sure. And for those that are maybe brand new to keto, what you are trying to do with your tracking is you want 70% of your calories to come from fat, 25% from protein, and 5% from carbs, from your net carbs.
I'm smiling because last week she talked about these percentages and they didn't add up to 100. And it's because there's a range, it's
right.
like 70, 75%.
And I never
20
can
to 25,
remember.
5 to 10.
Right.
But what she said didn't add up. So
I used to be a math teacher. I promise I didn't get fired. I quit.
I love seeing some of these comments.
It is fun. We love interacting with you guys.
All right. Well, we better stay on track because we got a lot more dues to cover and we haven't even touched the don'ts.
Right. Okay. So number 4 is to make sure that you are staying hydrated and using electrolytes. I did not use electrolytes for quite a while, and I was finding myself feeling kind of weak and just low energy. And I was like, what is happening? I feel like I'm doing all the right things. And that's when I started adding in electrolytes every day. And as far as hydrating, I actually just got a half-gallon water jug that I am trying to get through twice in a day. But when I'm on the go, it literally is bigger than my head. So I didn't bring it today, so I don't have it. But hydrating is important.
Yeah. So the keto diet can be have a diuretic effect on the body. So you lose a lot of water. Also, when you lose water, you lose your electrolytes. So it's really important to supplement. Like I like the keto. We have at Prove It, we have Mitoplex, and it's just a little powder I add in water. I love to do that in the afternoon. It's a nice little, I get the flavored kind. So it's a nice little pick-me-up. It's just a good reminder, like to drink more water, and I'm supplementing with electrolytes. But I've also done pink Himalayan salt. It doesn't have to be fancy. You can take magnesium. You can do different things. Some people drink pickle juice. Not my thing, but if it's your thing, have at it.
Right. Also for hydrating, it is a good rule of thumb you want to drink half of your body weight in ounces every day.
Don't tell the story again.
I love that story. You know, it's got, she's heard this story 15 times.
I'm just going to take a little minute.
When I first was doing the challenge, I did a live or something about hydrating. And I said, you need to drink half of your body weight in water every day. I left out one important word called in ounces, tumors. In ounces. And I had someone send me a message very concerned and said, if you drank half of your body weight in water, you would drown. That story will continue to be told because it's funny. And I had to answer her very seriously, like, oh, thank you for your concern. I will do better with my words next time.
Here, if you could work on the comments, because that's hard for me to see them.
Oh, sure.
So the next one, did you have another story?
No, it's just funny. Anyway, so for example, if you weigh 200 pounds, you would want to try to do 100 ounces. Don't drink 100 pounds of water. You would drown, in fact.
No, there's somebody at my door. It never ends. All right. So then number 5 on the do list is to do keto with a friend or follow someone who knows what they're doing. Like there's a ton of information out there. You could just do your little search. Some of it's conflicting. Some people aren't very nice. Some people are super strict and don't like you to ask questions. Like find somebody kind but knowledgeable. And that's what we
do we know anyone like that?
At KETO-SIStas try to be. Like we don't tell people you have to be strict. We let people be dirty, lazy, carb conscious. We want to help you make better decisions. So we try to provide you with information, help you make the decision that's right for you to move you along your path to better. It doesn't mean you jump from the standard American diet to strict keto, intermittent fasting, and extreme exercise. Like that's not sustainable, and it's really hard on your body to make those big changes. But it's important to find someone who knows what they're doing and who's kind and gentle to both push you, but to like give you some grace along the way as well.
Yes. And as far as the comments, some people are asking about like not being sure about tracking or being confused with tracking. It is a whole thing. You all, it's a big deal. And it is crucial to doing the keto diet. So that is, we reference the challenge a lot, and it's honestly too much to get into on these lives that we do every week. It really is. We kind of have to take a deep dive into it. And so that's what we do with the challenge is we spend every day really getting like baby steps further and further into the keto diet. And then we do have an entire day explaining Carb Manager and showing the app and how to use the app. And then we have people that do live Q&As specifically about net carbs or the app or the tracking or the percentages. So we get into all of that because it is a rather complicated diet. Very few people really do the keto diet properly to get maximum results. And so if you have not already taken the challenge, I would just encourage you, KETO-SIStas.com. Sign up for the challenge. We have a new one that starts every Monday. So I would recommend you do that. If you have done the challenge, let other people know what you learned with it, what it meant to you, the results that you got, things like that.
Yeah, and something else that we're really starting to do is even people who've gone through the challenge, like they get this awareness, they start to feel better because they've cut down on their carbs, they've increased their healthy fats, but sometimes they still need a little bit more. And for people who want a little more hand holding or a little more intentional help, we have started like coaching people so that we have coaches that we've helped to train and prepare them to make sure that they're teaching and guiding people in the KETO-SIStas way, because we don't want to be the keto police. It's not our way or the highway. We will provide you with information and again, help you make an informed decision about what the right path for you is at this point in your life.
Yes. And Dee said that she's amazed how many carbs are even in salad fixings. I know. It's a little bit
Dried
heartbreaking.
cranberries,
Yeah.
croutons.
You probably will grieve a little bit when you first start tracking it, some of the things that you'll discover. Okay. Carrots. That was such a shocker. I don't know if y'all have seen our carrot video, but it's pretty funny. Anyway. Okay. We need
Well,
to
here,
move
are you
on.
putting more of these comments on and I'll go to the next one?
Yeah.
All right. So those are our keto do's. Keto don'ts. The first one, don't go over on protein. This is a mistake that a lot of rookies make because they know they're not supposed to eat carbs. They're still a little weirded out about fats. So they go to their go-to, which is what? Like a chicken breast, right? Like that's what women have eaten, it seems like, for centuries when we're trying to lose weight. And a chicken breast, it's protein, but it doesn't really have much fat to it, right? It's not a fatty meat. And so it's really easy to go over on your protein. Again, going back to a keto do, why it's important to track at first. So it's really, really easy to go over on protein. We feel like that's kind of a safety net. But if you go over, your body actually will treat your excess protein. It'll break it down, and it's essentially like glucose or carbs. So you're kind of fighting against yourself. Again, why tracking is so important.
Right. And I think a lot of people initially confuse the keto diet with the Atkins diet that was really popular in the 90s. I think is when that one was. And that is more protein heavy and doesn't do the intentional fat. That is what makes keto such a unique diet. So just be aware of that. Okay. Oh, I love this one. Second thing to don't do. Second thing to not do is don't obsess about the scale. You all, true story. So Rebecca and I are taking the challenge right now, which we created the challenge, obviously, but we made those videos like 2 years ago, I think. I don't know, it's been a while, some of them. And so we haven't watched them for a while, and it is so fun going back and doing it. But at the beginning of the challenge, you have to weigh yourself. And I literally didn't even know if I'd be able to find my scale. And because we were in the process of moving, found the scale, and then it was out of batteries. And I really took a second to pat myself on the back and say, good job not obsessing about the scale. Like that used to be an obsession that I had. And I was really thankful that that is not a part of my life anymore. That when I feel like my pants starting to get tight, like, okay, let's tighten it up a little bit, right? But I'm not living by those numbers and judging myself and having frustration with myself or low self-esteem because of the number on a scale. So it's super important to not do. Yes, you want to be healthy. Yes, you want to be living your best life, but don't obsess with the numbers because this is a lifestyle, you all. And I'm going to be fully honest here, which I tend to do anyway. But when I did weigh myself, I was like, oh, okay, that probably needed to be seen. But I had a minute where I thought, oh, dang it. But then I thought, you know what? I would have loved to have been at this place 5 years ago when I started on this path. And I'm going to celebrate that instead of gaining a couple pounds every year like I had been doing, instead I am,
At least holding steady.
significantly less than I was 5 years ago when I got started, even though I have gained a little bit over this last year. And it's just that mindset shift that we were so big on at the KETO-SIStas. But don't beat yourself up. This is a lifestyle. And if I continue on that path in 5 more years, I'm going to be even healthier than I am today.
Yeah. But like it wasn't very pleasant, I'll admit, to get on the scale. And we took measurements and we took full length mirror pictures. And like I had to go live in the group and just say, I feel your pain. It wasn't great the Monday or Tuesday after Thanksgiving to do those things because I had indulged.
That was Rebecca's idea.
But I had indulged quite a bit. But like it's just a point in time. It's a jumping off point. It's important to have metrics that you can measure to help gauge your progress. So yes, we don't want you to be defined by the scale. We don't want you to be obsessed with it, but you can use it as a tool. And as you continue this lifestyle, you'll find that you don't use that as a tool nearly as often as you have to at the beginning. Like my scale, it was pretty dusty. Like I don't get on it. But it is good occasionally to use that as a metric to measure kind of where you are, kind of check in and to see where you're trying to go. But yeah, we don't want you to obsess over the scale. And especially if you're just getting started, your scale can actually even move up a little bit when you get started. You're drinking more water, your body's trying to adjust.
It's like, what in the heck are you doing? Especially if you're doing something so different than you've done for decades and you're all of a sudden adding in those healthy fats, your body might be a little bit freaked out. Cal said that she had actually thrown her scale away and then had to buy a new one for the challenge.
We blew up one. That was really fun. We took a shotgun, or I don't know, was it a shotgun or a rifle? I don't know. We took a big gun of her husband's.
I'm going to put that in the comments too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we shot it up because we don't want you to obsess over the scale. It can be a tool, but it's not anything that defines you. And I do not know what this random, like,
also your
unicorn
hair should not define you. Guys, we are more than our scales or our hair. Okay. Number 3. This is kind of cliche, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. And what that means, I mean, you know what that phrase means, but
it means the eggs are really good keto food.
That's true. So eat the eggs, but you don't want to just depend on the keto diet itself to help you get to where you want to go. So there are 4 different ways actually to get your body into ketosis. And we think it's important to find your balance with all of them and not only focus on the keto diet. So for those that don't know, there is also exogenous ketones, which we are huge on. That's what got us both started on this path. The intermittent fasting, we love intermittent fasting. I mean, honestly, in kind of a weird way, that when I'm somewhere and we're going to have breakfast and I feel like it would be socially odd for me not to eat breakfast, I'm like, oh,
it kind of bummed.
Yeah. Like, it's just not, I don't want to go back to that place where I'm eating all day long. Because I just feel better. I feel great right now. And both of us haven't eaten yet today. Like, it is a powerful tool. So obviously the keto diet is the 3rd one. And then extreme exercise. I'd much rather fast than exercise, but I am developing a new muscle called going to the gym 6 times a week. I'm working on it. I am. Or at least working out.
But what's nice is, like we talk about balance a lot in life, right? Like, you don't want to have too much fun, but you don't want to be too serious. It's the same with your like healthy eating and healthy lifestyle, right? So if you're eating somewhat healthy, healthier than you used to be, maybe you're drinking ketones, maybe you're also doing intermittent fasting, maybe not every day, but on most days. Maybe some days or some months, maybe you do an extended fast once a month. Maybe you're not doing extreme exercise, but you're getting to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week, right? Like, when you're doing a little bit in all the areas, those add up to a much bigger cumulative effect than just highly focusing on one. Because I'm telling you, if you focus on a strict keto diet, which I've never done, admittedly, it's hard to be social. It's hard to go to a holiday party and to go everywhere and bring your food and say, oh, I can't eat that and I won't eat that. Like, it's not very fun to be around. Yeah, maybe for a season, some people can do it. And some people get into a groove where they just do it and they don't think about it and they just eat 1 meal a day and they eat it at home and they don't worry about it when they're with other people. But it's tough. It's tough to do it all on your own. So for me, I like to drink exogenous ketones. I've been drinking them twice a day and I drink them every day. I've never missed a day in, gosh, like 6 years now, almost. So that's a good tool for me. It kind of protects me when my diet isn't as perfect. Even when I kind of went off plan over Thanksgiving, I didn't eat as much of the bad things because I wasn't as hungry because I had exogenous ketones in my system. And I love to exercise and I love intermittent fasting. So that balance is great for me. And that's what we try to help people do, is find their balance.
It is interesting. Rebecca and I both do fasting and exogenous ketones. She does more exercise and I do more tracking. So we kind of have found like what is our fit that really makes more sense with us. Congratulations. Dee said that she did her her first challenge in September, but then she just remeasured for this challenge and has lost 8 more pounds in 3 months. That is awesome.
Especially during the holidays.
Yeah. I mean, how cool is that? And to think about where you'll be like starting the new year versus where you, if you're like me, where you've been every other January 2nd in the past. It's exciting. I'm super excited to be doing the challenge right now and think, oh my gosh, if I lost some weight in December, that is literally a first for me to not gain weight. Even if I just held steady, that would be like a good day.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay,
I know.
we said we were going to be on in like 15 minutes and it's 25 and we got 2 more to go. All right, the next keto don't is don't eat too many processed foods.
Mhm.
I mean, y'all know processed foods generally not good. Food should be the ingredient. Food
Mhm.
shouldn't actually have a list of ingredients, right?
Mhm.
Especially things that are chemically, things that you can't pronounce, things that didn't come from the earth. Those generally aren't good, and especially keto foods.
Mhm.
Like there are more and more keto branded foods out there. I'm here to tell you, I'm a voracious label reader,
She
and
is.
I'll be in the grocery store and I'll be in the keto section. I'm like, nope,
Right.
nope. And if somebody's around me, I'm like, you might want to think about. I'm
Right.
that noisy, not noisy, nosy, bossy kind of person, because I hate for people to think that they're making a better choice
Mhm.
and they're spending money on a premium keto product when I know with those ingredients that are in there
Mhm.
that it's actually detrimental to what they're trying to do. So I get pretty impassioned about it all.
She does. And she, when she first had me read a label on a keto bar that I was eating, but I was super proud, like, look, I'm eating this instead of a candy bar or whatever. She kind of guided, and this is years ago, kind of guided me through like, this is actually probably no better than a candy bar. And she's like, how do you feel after you eat this? And I was like, I kind of keep wanting more. And she's like, that is not how you should feel. If it's a good, true keto bar, that should be satisfying and not stir up those sugar cravings, because it has not a good sugar in it.
Yeah, but again, we are not the keto police. Like there are some keto branded foods that I know aren't perfect, like some of these keto breads that have come out. They'll still have soybean oil and some other things in it that aren't like perfectly ideal. But is it a better choice than the bread that I was using before?
Mhm.
Probably so.
Right.
So even if it's not perfect, if it's still better for you, like celebrate that you're making better choices. When I get kind of impassioned about it because I feel like people think it's a great, perfect choice
Mhm.
just because it says keto on the thing. So my beef is really with the manufacturers and the marketing departments of those foods because I don't want people to be misled. If you understand that it's got a sweetener in it that's not perfect, but it still fits within what you're trying to do, have at it. Like
Mhm.
I'm all for that. But I just want you to understand, and that's why in the challenge we talk so much about the labels and the good sweeteners and the bad sweeteners
Mhm.
and the good fats and the bad fats because it is confusing.
Right. I might have that on my phone, and I still will like. I get the sweeteners confused, but I will pull up our app or our well, I do pull up the old app, but I pull up the graphic that shows the different sweeteners. Like, okay, this is a good one. If Rebecca's not there to tell me which keto bar to get.
I'm a nice person.
She is. She's very nice. You guys don't ever say otherwise. What if someone said you were mean? Okay.
Don't in the comments below if you think
That's
I'm
true.
mean.
If
Don't
you
say
think,
it.
yeah, keep that one to yourself. Okay, so lastly, keto don'ts, spelled DON''TS, in my opinion. Don't expect a quick fix. You all, this is a lifestyle, and that's why we do kind of embrace and accept the fact that, like, oh, that I was eating a bar that wasn't very good. Oh, we had a little more fun on Thanksgiving than we should, because we're not looking at this to be like extreme, all in crazy right now. We plan to be doing this in decades to come. And so we know that we just keep making steps forward. And once Rebecca showed me that bar that really wasn't a great choice, like, I don't buy those bars anymore. Like, I made improvements. For me to be taking the month of December and really intentionally watching what I'm eating, that's a victory, even if I didn't love what was on the scale today. So it is a lifestyle. And just think of where you'll be in 5 years, 10 years, even just drawing a line in the sand and not gaining more weight, not causing your body to be more inflamed, all those things that sugar does to your body. So just celebrate your wins.
Yeah, that's huge. And that's really at the heart of what we do here at KETO-SIStas. We try to provide information and education in a somewhat entertaining way. I mean, we're goofy. We've been even called quirky.
Many times.
We do want to provide valid information, but we'd never want to mandate that someone follows a strict particular diet or lifestyle. Even in our challenge, we give like a 10-day meal plan just to give ideas and examples to people. But it's not required to be in part of our challenge. Like you can eat whatever you want. We just want you to be aware of what you're eating and to make those informed decisions. Like I still make choices that I know aren't strict keto, but I balance them out with other choices. Like she says, I like to exercise a lot. So I'll exercise and I'll do intermittent fasting and I drink ketones because I do want to enjoy some foods that aren't on any strict keto police list.
All right. We have talked about this for 30 minutes, which is funny because we're like, do you think that we'll have 15 minutes of content on this? Yeah, we do. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We honestly have so much fun getting on here with you guys.
Once we get all of the lights in the background
oh my
and the
goodness.
candles falling and the dog barking
and things off the wall. But we love getting on here with you and we really appreciate your engagement. And if you are watching this on the replay, please let us know that you're watching it on the replay and we'll come back and engage with you all that way too.
Yeah, and if you have a keto do or a don't that we didn't mention, maybe throw it in the comments. We'd like to learn from you too.
Yes. All right. That's it for now.
Go create your best life.